So, if you or someone you love is looking at cataract surgery, you're probably finding out that the biggest decision isn't really about the surgery itself. Nope, it's about that tiny, powerful lens that's about to completely change how you see the world. It can feel like a lot, I know. So, let's break it all down and make sense of the incredible choices you have today.
For years and years, cataract surgery had a very simple goal: get that cloudy lens out so light could get back in. And yeah, it gave you your vision back, but you were pretty much guaranteed to need glasses for everything. Well, that has completely changed. Today, it's not just about getting rid of the blur. It's a chance to actually refine your vision, to sharpen it, and for a lot of people, to dramatically cut down on or even say goodbye to your glasses for good.
All right, so here's our game plan to get a handle on all this. First, we'll talk about what's really new in the world of cataract surgery. Then, we're going to dive into the four main types of lenses you'll be choosing from. We also have to get real about a fundamental trade-off you're going to face. Then, we'll see how your brain plays a huge, huge role in all of this. And finally, we'll figure out how to match the perfect lens to your light. Okay, so the first big mindset shift to make is that we are way beyond just fixing blurry vision. This is now a conversation about your lifestyle. I mean, think about it. Do you drive a lot at night? Are you on a computer all day long? Do you love to settle in with a good book and read the fine print? The answers to those questions, they're now the most important things in deciding which lens is right for you. And that brings us to the main event, the lenses themselves. Now, there are a bunch of different brands out there, but they all basically fall into four main categories. Each one has a totally different way of handling light and giving your vision. Let's break them down. First up, we have the monofocal lens. You can think of this as the classic, the workhorse, the gold standard for pure visual quality. It's built to give you one single, crystal clear point of focus, and we usually set that for seeing things far away. Because it doesn't do any fancy tricks with the light, it gives you the absolute best, crispest contrast. So what's the catch? You will absolutely need glasses for your computer and for reading. No question. Now, the first big step up from that is the Monofocal Plus. Think of this as the classic monofocal, but with a little superpower. It gently stretches that single focal point just enough to give you some really useful intermediate vision. You know, perfect for seeing your car's dashboard, your computer screen, or what's on the stove. And it does all this while keeping that same amazing safety profile with almost no glare or halos. You'll still need some cheaters for reading a book, though. Next up, we have extended depth of focus lenses, or EDOF for short. And these are truly made for the way we live now, with all our screens. They create this amazing, continuous plateau of good vision, all the way from distance to about arm's length. And what's really revolutionary are the newer models that do this without using the diffractive rings that cause halos. So they offer this fantastic sweet spot, a great balance between range of vision and quality of vision. And finally, we get to trifocals. Now, these lenses offer the absolute best shot at being completely 100% free of glosses. They use these special rings to actually split the light into three distinct focal points. One for distance, one for the computer, and one for up close. For people who just love to read and whose number one goal is to ditch their glasses forever, this is often the go-to. But, and this is a big but, there's no free lunch in optics. Splitting the light like that comes with two guaranteed trade-offs: a little less contrast, and you will definitely see halos around lights at night. Okay, this chart right here, the defocus curve, this tells the entire story. It might look a little technical, but it's simple. See that top row? That's 20/20 distance vision. And look, they all nail it. But now, follow that line for the standard monofocal. See how it just falls off a cliff once you get to computer and reading distances? Now look at the Monofocal Plus. It gives you a nice little bridge for that intermediate range. And the EDOF, that's that long, high-performing plateau we were talking about. Finally, check out the trifocal. It has another sharp peak of perfect 20/20 vision, right where you need it for reading. This one picture just perfectly shows you what each lens is designed to do. And all of that brings us to this central conflict, the big decision every single patient has to make. The truth is, you can't have it all. Choosing a lens is really about navigating this fundamental trade-off between getting the biggest range of vision and getting the absolute best quality of vision. It really just boils down to this. On one side of the scale, you've got the goal of total freedom from glasses. That's the promise of a trifocal lens. On the other side, you've got the goal of the most pristine, crisp vision with zero weird artifacts, and that's the strength of a monofocal lens. The Monofocal Plus and the EDOF lenses, they live somewhere in the middle. The big question you have to answer for yourself is, where on this spectrum does my happiness lie?
Let's talk about those halos for a second, because it's the #1 concern people have with trifocals, and the data is just fascinating. Research shows that, yeah, about 90% of people with these lenses will see halos around lights at night. But look at this next number. The number of patients who are actually very bothered by them is incredibly small. We're talking less than 5%. This shows there's a huge difference between noticing something and it actually being a problem.
And the reason for that huge difference? Well, that brings us to our next section. Because the piece of technology in your eye is only half the story. The other half, the much more powerful half, is the supercomputer that it's plugged into, your brain.
The magic word here is neuroadaptation. This is your brain's just incredible ability to get used to the new way it's seeing the world. Over time, it actually learns to pay attention to what's important, the clear picture, and it actively tunes out the background noise, like halos. For these advanced lenses, this process isn't just a nice bonus. It is an absolutely essential part of getting to great vision.
But this journey takes time, and it's different for each lens. A monofocal lens, your brain gets it almost immediately in just a few days or weeks. An EDOF lens takes a little bit longer, usually somewhere around 3 to 6 months. But a trifocal? That's a real commitment. It can take your brain a full 6 to 12 months to really master this new visual system and learn to ignore those halos. So, who tends to have the easiest time with this adaptation process? Well, studies point to a few things. Younger patients often adapt faster. Sure, but personality is just as important. People who are generally pretty easygoing, who are motivated, and who have realistic expectations, they do great. Having healthy eyes to begin with, and just a willingness to be patient, are also absolutely key.
On the flip side, some things can make it a lot tougher. People who are perfectionists or very hypercritical often have a hard time ignoring the minor visual imperfections that come with multifocal lenses. Any other underlying eye issue, especially dry eye, can make things worse. And, of course, for professionals like pilots or long-haul truck drivers, where perfect night vision is literally a job requirement, these lenses are usually not the right choice. Okay, so this all leads us to the final decision. You've got all this info. How in the world do you find your perfect match? Well, it all comes back to that one thing we started with, your lifestyle. We can actually make this a lot simpler by just looking at a few common lifestyles. Let's say you're the night driver, somebody who really values that safety and clarity above all else. The Monofocal Plus is a fantastic option. Or maybe you're the office worker, always looking from your computer monitor to your phone. A non-diffractive EDOF lens is basically built for that exact range. And if you're the avid reader or a crafter, someone who just wants the best possible up-close vision for tiny details, the trifocal is just in a league of its own. And here it is, all laid out in one place. This table really gives you the final snapshot of how these lenses stack up. You can see the trends so clearly. As you move from left to right, your need for glasses goes way down, but the risk of those halos and glare goes up. Your job, with your doctor, is to figure out which column is the best fit for you, your life, and your personality. And as you're thinking about that, I want to leave you with this really powerful quote from the research. It says that for a lot of people, the quality of their vision, being free from annoying halos and glare, ends up having a bigger impact on their happiness than simply being free of glasses. It's a really important perspective to keep in mind. Look, the whole point of this explainer isn't for you to walk away knowing exactly which lens you want. The goal is for you to walk into your surgeon's office ready to have a truly informed, empowered conversation. And to help you do that, here are the exact questions you should be asking. Start with the basics. What's safe for my eyes? Then be really honest about your priorities. You have to weigh what's more important, night driving or reading. Ask your surgeon straight up, hey, do you think my personality is a good fit to adapting to a trifocal? You can even ask about creative strategies, like using a different lens in each eye. And maybe most importantly, make sure you know exactly what to expect for that whole first year. Because in the end, this choice is so personal. So we'll end with the only question that really matters. Just take a minute to think about your days, your hobbies, your work, what you love to do, and ask yourself, what does a life with clear vision really look like for me?